The Subtle Art of Letting Go, written and published by Stoic Guardian. Introduction. Life's greatest transformations often begin with the simple yet profound act of letting go. In The Subtle Art of Letting Go, published in early 2025, we explore the delicate balance between holding on and releasing, a challenge that defines much of our human experience. Like a skilled trapeze artist who must release one bar to grasp the next, we too must learn the art of conscious release to move forward in life. This book emerged from countless conversations with individuals struggling with the weight of their past, their expectations, and their fears. Through these pages, we challenge the conventional wisdom that more is always better. Instead, we present a counterintuitive path to freedom, one that comes not through accumulation, but through letting go. From releasing toxic relationships to surrendering control, from embracing uncertainty to finding freedom in commitment, each chapter offers practical wisdom for navigating life's complex terrain. We dive deep into the psychology of attachment, exploring why we hold on so tightly and how we can develop the courage to release what no longer serves us. Whether you're grappling with career transitions, relationship challenges, or personal growth, this book offers a comprehensive framework for mastering the subtle art of letting go. It's not about reaching a destination of perfect detachment, but about developing a new relationship with life itself, one marked by fluidity, acceptance, and grace. Chapter 1. Stop trying so hard. The screech of tires pierces the air as a car barely misses hitting a jogger fixated on their fitness tracker, desperately trying to reach their daily step goal. This scene captures a deeper truth about modern life. We have become obsessed with trying harder, pushing further, and optimizing every aspect of our existence. The pressure to constantly improve has become suffocating. We track our sleep, count our steps, monitor our screen time, and measure our productivity in 15-minute increments. Self-improvement has transformed from a journey of growth into a relentless pursuit of perfection. Our culture celebrates the hustle, glorifies the grind, and praises those who push themselves to the breaking point. But beneath this veneer of productivity lies an uncomfortable truth. The harder we try to force personal growth, the more it eludes us. Like trying to hold water in a clenched fist, our fierce grip only ensures it slips away. Real transformation occurs in the spaces between effort, in moments of ease, acceptance, and flow. Think of how learning a new skill actually works. Progress rarely comes from gritting your teeth and forcing it. Instead, breakthroughs often happen after you step away, when your mind and body have space to integrate the practice naturally. The same principle applies to personal growth. The path forward often requires less force, not more. This does not mean becoming passive or giving up on your goals. Rather, it means shifting from forceful striving to skillful allowing. It means trusting the natural process of growth instead of trying to strong-arm your way to change. Consider how a flower grows. It does not strain or struggle to bloom. It simply opens itself to sunlight and water, allowing natural forces to fuel its expansion. Your growth can follow a similar pattern. Instead of pushing harder, focus on creating conditions that support natural development. This might mean setting boundaries that protect your energy, cultivating relationships that nourish your spirit, or engaging in work that aligns with your values. It means listening to your body's wisdom instead of overriding it with willpower. It means accepting where you are while remaining open to where you might go. The invitation is to ease your grip on life, to trust that not everything requires your forceful intervention, to understand that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is stop trying so hard. This is not about lowering your standards or abandoning your aspirations. It is about finding a more sustainable, joyful path to growth. As you move forward, notice where you might be overexerting yourself. Where could you ease up? What might flourish if you simply gave it space to grow naturally? The answers may surprise you, leading to a more graceful way of being and becoming. Chapter 2. Happiness is overrated. Tears stream down her face as she stares at her vision board, covered in images of success, joy, and perpetual happiness. Despite achieving every goal she set, something feels desperately empty. Her pursuit of happiness has become a source of profound unhappiness. The happiness industry has sold us a dangerous myth that we should feel good all the time. This relentless pursuit of positive emotions has created a generation allergic to discomfort, viewing any negative feeling as a personal failure rather than a natural part of human experience. Life includes pain, disappointment, and moments of profound discomfort. These experiences are not obstacles to a good life. They are integral parts of it. The sooner we accept this truth, the sooner we can stop waging war against our own emotions. Research in psychology reveals that people who accept negative emotions rather than fight them actually experience greater psychological health. They understand that feelings are like weather patterns. They come and go, and no single state lasts forever. True fulfillment comes not from constant happiness, but from living meaningfully. This might mean pursuing challenging goals, standing up for your values, or supporting others through difficult times. These experiences may not always feel pleasant, but they create a life rich in purpose and authentic connection. Consider the parent who stays up all night with a sick child, the artist who struggles through creative blocks, or the activist fighting for social change. These experiences involve discomfort, worry, and frustration, yet they also represent some of life's most meaningful moments. The goal shifts from pursuing happiness to pursuing wholeness. Wholeness means embracing all of your emotions as valuable messengers. Anger might signal violated boundaries. Sadness might reveal what you truly care about. Fear might highlight areas for growth. This perspective liberates you from the exhausting chase for constant positivity. You can stop forcing yourself to smile when you feel down. You can release the pressure to turn every moment into a highlight reel for social media. You can simply be human, with all the messy complexity that entails. The path forward involves developing emotional literacy, learning to recognize, understand, and work with your full range of feelings. This skill serves you far better than any happiness-hunting technique. It allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom, rather than desperately seeking escape from discomfort. Let go of the belief that you should feel good all the time. Embrace the full spectrum of human experience. In doing so, you might discover that real joy comes not from avoiding negative emotions, but from living authentically with all of them. Chapter 3. You are not special. The gold star stickers lose their shine when everyone gets one. A young graduate enters the workforce convinced of their exceptional destiny, only to face the sobering reality that being special takes more than participation trophies and empty praise. The cult of exceptionalism has created a peculiar form of suffering. We have raised a generation to believe they must stand out to have value, that being average is a kind of failure. This pressure creates a constant state of striving and comparison, leaving many feeling perpetually inadequate. The truth cuts through this cultural delusion like a warm knife through butter. Most of us are average at most things, and that is perfectly fine. This is not pessimism. It is liberation. When you release the exhausting pressure to be extraordinary at everything, you create space to genuinely excel in areas that matter to you. Excellence emerges naturally when you focus on contribution rather than recognition. The master craftsman who takes pride in their work, the teacher who changes lives without fanfare, the parent who raises kind children, they find fulfillment not in being special, but in being useful. The paradox reveals itself. Those who let go of the need to be special often make the most meaningful impact. They focus on the work rather than their image. They pursue mastery for its own sake rather than for external validation. They serve others without needing to be celebrated for it. Statistical reality shows us that exceptional performance in any field follows a bell curve. Most people cluster around the middle, and that is necessary for society to function. We need competent professionals more than we need superstars. We need reliable partners more than we need relationship gurus. This truth does not diminish your worth or limit your potential. Instead, it frees you to pursue what genuinely calls to you rather than what might impress others. It allows you to find joy in progress rather than perfection, in contribution rather than competition. The path forward involves embracing your ordinariness while nurturing your uniqueness. Your specific combination of experiences, perspectives, and qualities makes you uniquely suited to contribute in your own way. This contribution needs no spotlight to be valuable. Releasing the burden of specialness opens the door to authentic living. You can pursue interests because they genuinely excite you, not because they might make you stand out. You can form relationships based on real connection rather than status or validation. Your worth does not depend on being extraordinary. It exists simply because you exist, because you are capable of kindness, growth, and contribution in your own unique way. Chapter 4. Struggles shape you. Blood trickles down a mountain climber's hand as she reaches for the next hold. Each scrape and callus tells a story not of suffering, but of strength earned through adversity. Her struggles have not weakened her. They have carved her into something formidable. Life's difficulties often feel like unwelcome intruders, problems to be solved or obstacles to be overcome. But what if these challenges serve a deeper purpose? What if struggle itself is the sculptor that shapes us into who we need to become? Every significant advancement in human history emerged from struggle. Every personal transformation story includes chapters of difficulty. These challenges are not mere tests of our existing strength. They are the very forces that create that strength. The process mirrors how muscles develop. Resistance creates micro-tears in the tissue, which then heal stronger than before. Without this stress and recovery cycle, no growth occurs. Your life's struggles follow a similar pattern, breaking down old ways of thinking and being, making space for new strength to emerge. Consider how your past challenges have shaped you. That heartbreak taught you emotional resilience. That failure sparked innovation. That loss deepened your capacity for empathy. Even your current struggles are molding you in ways that may only become clear in retrospect. This perspective transforms how you view difficulties. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "How is this shaping me?" The focus shifts from escape to engagement, from avoidance to growth. Each challenge becomes an opportunity for development rather than an obstacle to happiness. This does not mean seeking out suffering or glorifying struggle. It means engaging with inevitable challenges in a way that serves your growth. It means viewing difficulties as teachers rather than tormentors. It means understanding that comfort zones, while pleasant, are poor places for development. The key lies in engaging with struggles productively. This involves maintaining perspective during difficult times, learning from challenges rather than being demolished by them, and knowing when to push through versus when to rest and recover. It means treating yourself with compassion while remaining committed to growth. Your struggles have equipped you with unique strengths and insights. They have taught you resilience, resourcefulness, and empathy. They have shown you what you are capable of surviving and overcoming. These lessons, though painful in the moment, become invaluable tools for navigating future challenges. Embrace the understanding that struggle shapes you. Let this knowledge transform how you view life's difficulties. Your challenges are not punishments or obstacles. They are the very forces molding you into who you are meant to become. Chapter 5. Choosing what matters. 5 years pass in an instant. As a middle-aged professional realizes she has been climbing the wrong ladder. Her impressive title and salary mean little compared to the time she has lost pursuing goals that were never truly hers. The modern world presents us with an overwhelming array of choices, possibilities, and demands for our attention. We often find ourselves spread thin, trying to care about everything, excel at everything, and please everyone. This approach leaves us exhausted and, paradoxically, making less impact in areas that truly matter. The art of living well requires selective caring. You cannot care deeply about everything, and you should not try. Your energy, attention, and time are finite resources. Spending them wisely means choosing deliberately what deserves your investment and what does not. This selection process begins with honest self-reflection. What truly matters to you, beneath the layers of social conditioning and expectations? Which activities energize you rather than drain you? Which relationships nurture your growth? Which goals align with your authentic values rather than borrowed ambitions? The answers often surprise us. We might discover that our deepest fulfillment comes from areas we have been neglecting while pursuing socially approved achievements. We might find that some of our goals were inherited from others rather than chosen consciously by ourselves. Choosing what matters requires courage. It means disappointing some people. It means saying no to good opportunities to save space for great ones. It means focusing your energy on fewer areas, but with greater depth and impact. This focused approach creates a compound effect. When you invest deeply in what truly matters to you, you develop expertise, build meaningful relationships, and create lasting impact. This depth of engagement brings a satisfaction that surface-level achievement in multiple areas never can. The process involves regular pruning. Like a gardener shapes a tree by removing certain branches to allow others to flourish, you must periodically evaluate your commitments and choices. What once mattered might no longer serve your growth. New priorities might emerge that deserve space in your life. This dynamic process of choosing and re-choosing what matters keeps your life aligned with your evolving values and aspirations. It prevents you from running on autopilot, pursuing outdated goals, or maintaining commitments that no longer serve your growth. Chapter 6. Let go of control. The chess master stares at the board, frozen in analysis paralysis. Every possible move spins through his mind as the clock ticks down. His need for perfect control has become his greatest weakness, preventing him from making any move at all. Life mirrors this chess game. We often believe that if we can just plan enough, analyze enough, and control enough variables, we can guarantee our desired outcome. This illusion of control brings temporary comfort, but ultimately creates more suffering than it prevents. Control is seductive because it promises safety and certainty. We grip tightly to our plans, our expectations, and our desired outcomes. We create elaborate strategies to manage every aspect of our lives, from our careers to our relationships to our daily routines. The irony reveals itself in moments of crisis. Those who cling most desperately to control often handle unexpected changes the poorest. Their rigid frameworks shatter under pressure, leaving them without the adaptability needed to navigate life's inevitable curveballs. True power lies not in controlling external circumstances, but in managing your response to them. This shift in focus, from trying to control life to learning to dance with it, transforms how you navigate challenges. It builds genuine resilience rather than brittle resistance. Consider how nature handles uncertainty. A tree does not resist strong winds by standing rigid. It survives by being flexible, bending without breaking. Water does not fight obstacles in its path. It flows around them, always finding a way forward. These natural models offer wisdom for navigating life's uncertainties. Releasing control does not mean becoming passive. Instead, it means engaging with life more skillfully. You still set goals, make plans, and work toward desired outcomes. The difference lies in holding these plans loosely, remaining open to unexpected opportunities and alternative paths. This approach requires developing comfort with uncertainty. Start small. Practice letting go in low-stakes situations. Let someone else choose the restaurant. Take a different route to work. Say yes to spontaneous invitations. Each small act of releasing control builds your capacity for handling bigger uncertainties. The reward for releasing control is immense. Energy once spent trying to manage every variable becomes available for more productive purposes. Relationships deepen when you stop trying to control how others should be. Creativity flourishes when you release rigid expectations about how things should unfold. Your peace of mind no longer depends on controlling external circumstances. Instead, it emerges from trusting your ability to handle whatever life presents. This is true freedom. Not the absence of challenges, but the confidence to navigate them with grace and wisdom. Chapter 7. Embracing uncertainty. Smoke rises from the ashes of her 5-year plan, destroyed by an unexpected pandemic that rewrote all the rules. In this moment of profound uncertainty, she discovers a truth. Life's greatest opportunities often arrive disguised as unwelcome surprises. Uncertainty triggers our deepest fears. We are wired to seek predictability, to create patterns and systems that make the world feel manageable. Yet life consistently reminds us that change is the only constant, that certainty is an illusion we create to feel safe. The modern world amplifies this challenge. Technology promises to make life more predictable, giving us apps to track everything from our sleep patterns to our retirement funds. Yet beneath this veneer of control, fundamental uncertainty remains. Markets shift, technologies disrupt, relationships evolve, and plans unravel. Those who thrive in this environment are not those with the most detailed plans, but those who have developed comfort with uncertainty. They treat it not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a natural part of life to be navigated. They understand that uncertainty creates space for innovation, growth, and unexpected opportunities. Consider great explorers, entrepreneurs, and innovators throughout history. Their breakthroughs came not from following predetermined paths, but from venturing into unknown territory. They succeeded not because they eliminated uncertainty, but because they learned to work with it. Embracing uncertainty requires developing new skills. Rather than seeking absolute answers, learn to ask better questions. Instead of demanding guarantees, focus on taking the next right step. Replace rigid plans with flexible frameworks that can adapt to changing circumstances. This approach transforms how you view challenges. Each obstacle becomes an invitation to innovate rather than a disruption to your plans. Each unexpected turn becomes an opportunity to discover new possibilities rather than a deviation from your intended path. The key lies in building your tolerance for uncertainty gradually. Start with small experiments in your daily life. Try new approaches, take calculated risks, learn from outcomes without becoming attached to specific results. Each experience builds your capacity for navigating bigger uncertainties. This mindset shift brings unexpected benefits. When you stop demanding certainty, when you embrace possibilities rather than cling to predictions, creativity flourishes. When you accept that multiple paths can lead to success, decision-making becomes easier. Chapter 8. Fail more, win more. Red ink bleeds across the manuscript, marking another rejection. The aspiring author adds it to her growing collection, 97 rejections, and counting. What others see as failure, she sees as stepping stones to mastery. Each no brings her closer to the yes that will launch her career. Fear of failure paralyzes potential. Brilliant ideas remain unspoken, businesses never launch, and relationships never bloom because we let our fear of failure outweigh our desire for growth. This fear keeps us trapped in comfortable mediocrity, never risking enough to achieve something remarkable. Success requires a radical reframing of failure. Every major breakthrough in human history came after countless failures. Thomas Edison's light bulb emerged from thousands of unsuccessful attempts. NASA's greatest achievements followed devastating setbacks. The Wright brothers crashed repeatedly before achieving flight. These examples reveal a crucial truth. Failure is not the opposite of success, It is a necessary component of it. Each failure provides valuable data, refines your approach, and builds resilience. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the closer you get to breakthrough success. This perspective transforms failure from something to avoid into something to embrace. When you understand that failure is feedback rather than final judgment, you approach challenges differently. You take more calculated risks, experiment more freely, and bounce back more quickly from setbacks. The key lies in failing intelligently. This means extracting lessons from each failure, adjusting your approach based on feedback, and maintaining perspective during difficult times. It means understanding that temporary defeat differs from permanent failure. You only truly fail when you stop trying. Real-world success stories often hide years of failures. The overnight success took 10 years of unseen effort. The viral sensation came after countless ignored posts. The successful entrepreneur failed in 3 businesses before finding the right formula. These failures were not detours, they were the path. Developing comfort with failure requires practice. Start small, take risks in low-stakes situations, share an unusual idea in a meeting. Try a new approach to a familiar problem. Ask for something you think might be denied. Each small risk builds your resilience and capacity for taking bigger ones. The paradox emerges. Those willing to fail more often ultimately succeed more frequently. They learn faster, adapt more quickly, and develop greater resilience than those who play it safe. Their willingness to fail becomes their greatest competitive advantage. Your relationship with failure shapes your potential for success. By embracing failure as a teacher rather than an enemy, you open yourself to greater possibilities and faster growth. Each failure becomes not an ending, but a beginning. Not a judgment, but a lesson. Chapter 9. The Power of Saying No. Silence fills the room as she declines a prestigious job offer. Her colleagues think she is crazy to turn down such an opportunity. But she knows this truth. The power of her yes comes from the strength of her no. Modern life bombards us with endless demands, opportunities, and obligations. Social media amplifies the pressure, showing us countless paths we could follow, experiences we could have, and achievements we could pursue. The result? We spread ourselves thin, saying yes to everything and excelling at nothing. Saying no is a muscle that requires development. Many of us carry deep programming that equates saying no with being selfish, mean, or unprofessional. We say yes out of guilt, obligation, or fear of missing out. Each reluctant yes adds another weight to our already heavy load. The most successful people in any field master the art of strategic no. Warren Buffett famously said that the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. They understand that focus requires elimination. Your time and energy are finite resources. Every yes to one thing is implicitly a no to countless others. When you say yes to that extra project, you are saying no to time with family, creative pursuits, or much-needed rest. When you agree to help everyone who asks, you deplete the energy needed for your most important work. Learning to say no gracefully is a crucial life skill. This means being clear and direct while remaining kind and professional. It means understanding that no can be a complete sentence. It does not always require justification or apology. It means trusting that others can handle your boundaries. The benefits of mastering no extend beyond time management. Clear boundaries foster deeper relationships. Focused energy produces better results. Selective commitment creates space for genuine excellence. Your yes becomes more meaningful because it comes from choice rather than obligation. This shift requires understanding your priorities clearly. What deserves your best energy? Which goals align with your deepest values? What relationships merit your fullest presence? These questions guide your decisions about what to decline, even when the opportunities seem attractive. The most powerful no comes from a deeper yes. When you are clear about what matters most to you, saying no to distractions becomes easier. Your no protects the space for what you truly want to say yes to: your most important work, relationships, and personal growth. Chapter 10. Taking Ownership of Life. Paint drips onto the floor as she stares at the half-finished wall. The contractor never showed up, and now she faces a choice: wait in frustration or learn to do it herself. In this moment, she discovers that taking ownership of the problem matters more than finding someone to blame. Life presents endless opportunities to make excuses. The traffic made you late. Your upbringing limited your opportunities. Other people's decisions impacted your success. While these external factors are real, focusing on them surrenders your power to circumstances beyond your control. Taking ownership means accepting a fundamental truth: you are responsible for your life's direction, regardless of the cards you were dealt. This mindset shift transforms you from a passenger into a driver, from a victim of circumstances into an architect of possibilities. The most successful people in any field share this trait. They do not waste energy blaming others or waiting for perfect conditions. They assess situations honestly, identify what they can control, and take action. When faced with obstacles, they ask, "What can I do about this?" rather than "Why is this happening to me?" This approach requires brutal honesty with yourself. It means acknowledging your role in creating your current situation. It means accepting that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you always control your response. It means understanding that your life's quality depends more on your decisions than your circumstances. Taking ownership extends beyond personal accountability. It means actively shaping your environment rather than passively accepting it. If your job lacks growth opportunities, create them. If your relationships lack depth, initiate meaningful conversations. If your community lacks something essential, become the person who builds it. This mindset brings unexpected benefits. Problems become opportunities for growth. Setbacks become chances to demonstrate resilience. Each challenge becomes a chance to prove to yourself what you are capable of overcoming. The process starts with small steps. Clean up messes you did not create. Solve problems outside your job description. Take initiative without being asked. Each action builds your capacity for handling bigger challenges and reinforces your identity as someone who makes things happen. This approach transforms how others view you. People trust those who take ownership. They respect those who solve problems rather than complain about them. They follow those who demonstrate responsibility through actions rather than words. Your level of ownership determines your level of power. By accepting full responsibility for your life's direction, you reclaim the authority to change its course. Each moment of ownership becomes a step toward creating the life you want, rather than accepting the life you have. Chapter 11. Freedom through commitment. Steel cables anchor the suspension bridge, their apparent restriction enabling the structure to span impossible distances. This paradox mirrors a deeper truth. True freedom emerges not from avoiding commitments, but from choosing them wisely and honoring them fully. Modern culture celebrates unlimited options and maximum flexibility. We keep our schedules open for better opportunities. We maintain multiple backup plans. We hesitate to commit to relationships, careers, or locations, fearing we might miss something better. This pursuit of absolute freedom often leaves us rootless and unfulfilled. Deep satisfaction comes from committed engagement rather than perpetual browsing. The master musician finds freedom through thousands of hours of disciplined practice. The successful entrepreneur discovers possibilities by committing fully to one venture. The flourishing relationship grows from dedicated investment rather than casual involvement. Commitment creates the foundation for growth. When you commit to a path, you stop wasting energy wondering about alternatives. You direct your full attention to extracting value from your chosen direction. This focused engagement often reveals opportunities invisible to the casual observer. The key lies in choosing commitments aligned with your values and aspirations. Not every opportunity deserves your commitment. Not every relationship merits deep investment. The art of living well involves discerning which commitments will foster your growth and which will restrict it. Meaningful commitment requires courage. It means closing doors to keep others open. It means accepting that you cannot pursue every interesting opportunity. It means understanding that depth in a few areas brings more satisfaction than superficial engagement in many. This approach transforms how you view limitations. Rather than seeing commitments as restrictions, you recognize them as enabling structures. Like the banks of a river channel, its power, well-chosen commitments direct your energy toward meaningful achievement. The process involves regular reassessment. Some commitments serve their purpose and need release. Others require renewed dedication. The goal is not blind loyalty, but conscious commitment to what serves your growth and contribution to others. Freedom emerges from this dedicated engagement. When you commit fully to a path, you discover possibilities invisible to the uncommitted observer. You develop mastery that creates new options. You build relationships that open unexpected doors. Chapter 12. Mastering Emotional Resilience. Lightning splits the sky as she stands in the storm, remembering her therapist's words. Emotions are weather patterns of the mind. They pass if you let them. This insight transformed her relationship with difficult feelings, revealing that mastery lies not in controlling emotions, but in flowing with them. Emotional resilience remains one of life's most valuable skills, yet few people actively develop it. Most either suppress their emotions, creating internal pressure that eventually explodes, or become overwhelmed by them, letting temporary feelings dictate permanent decisions. The path to emotional mastery begins with a radical acceptance that all emotions serve a purpose. Anger signals violated boundaries. Fear highlights areas requiring attention. Sadness reveals what we value. Even the most uncomfortable feelings carry important messages about our needs and values. Building emotional resilience requires developing a new relationship with discomfort. Instead of immediately seeking escape from difficult feelings, learn to sit with them. Observe them with curiosity rather than judgment. Notice how they manifest in your body. Watch how they rise and fall like waves. This observant stance creates space between stimulus and response. When criticism triggers anger, this space allows you to choose your reaction, rather than being hijacked by automatic responses. When anxiety arises, this gap enables you to assess the situation rationally, while acknowledging the emotion. Regular practice strengthens this capacity. Start with small emotional challenges. When minor irritations arise, practice staying present rather than immediately seeking distraction. When small disappointments occur, observe your reaction without trying to fix the feeling. Each experience builds your resilience for bigger challenges. Physical practices support emotional resilience. Regular exercise builds stress tolerance. Meditation develops awareness of emotional patterns. Proper rest and nutrition provide the foundation for emotional stability. These practices create a buffer zone between you and life's inevitable stresses. The goal is not to eliminate emotional responses, but to develop a more sophisticated relationship with them. Like a skilled surfer learns to ride waves rather than fight them, emotional resilience enables you to navigate feelings without being overwhelmed by them. This mastery transforms your experience of life. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming become manageable. Relationships deepen because you can hold space for difficult emotions, both yours and others. Professional growth accelerates because you can stay steady under pressure. Chapter 13. Rejection makes you stronger. The manuscript returns for the 100th time, marked with a standard rejection letter. She adds it to her collection, noticing how the sting has dulled over time. Each no has gradually transformed from a wound into a badge of honor, proof that she is playing a bigger game. Rejection ranks among our most primal fears. Evolution wired us to seek acceptance and avoid exclusion because in our ancestral environment, rejection often meant death. This ancient programming still influences us today, making rejection feel like a threat to our very survival. The modern world magnifies this challenge. Social media broadcasts others' successes while hiding their rejections. Dating apps turn connection into a series of swift judgments. Professional competition intensifies the fear of not measuring up. These pressures make rejection seem more personal and permanent than it is. Understanding rejection's true nature changes everything. Rejection rarely reflects your worth. It often says more about timing, fit, or circumstances than about you. Even the most successful people face constant rejection. Best-selling authors collect hundreds of rejections. Top salespeople hear no far more often than yes. Successful entrepreneurs fail repeatedly before finding their winning formula. This perspective transforms rejection from an ending into a beginning. Each rejection becomes proof that you are taking action, stretching beyond your comfort zone, and pursuing meaningful goals. It represents not failure but engagement with life's possibilities. The key lies in separating rejection of your work or ideas from rejection of your worth. When your manuscript gets rejected, only that specific piece was declined, not your value as a writer or human being. When a relationship ends, that particular connection did not work, not your capacity for love or worthiness of connection. This separation enables you to learn from rejection without being diminished by it. You can analyze feedback objectively, adjust your approach where needed, and maintain forward momentum. Each rejection becomes a step toward refinement rather than a signal to retreat. Building rejection resilience requires deliberate practice. Start small. Share ideas knowing some will be dismissed. Apply for opportunities slightly beyond your current reach. Make requests expecting some denials. Each experience strengthens your ability to handle bigger challenges. The paradox emerges. Those most comfortable with rejection often face it less frequently. Their resilience shows in their presence. They take better calculated risks because fear does not cloud their judgment. They present themselves more authentically because they do not need everyone's approval. Chapter 14. Letting go of fear and ego. The spotlight burns bright as she steps onto the stage, her prepared speech forgotten in a moment of panic. Instead of retreating, she shares her genuine thoughts, unfiltered and real. The audience connects more deeply with this authentic moment than any polished presentation could achieve. Fear and ego work as silent partners, shaping our decisions in ways we barely notice. Fear whispers about potential failures, while ego insists we maintain a carefully crafted image. Together, they create a prison of our own making, limiting our potential and authentic expression. The ego constructs elaborate defenses to protect us from perceived threats to our self-position. We avoid situations where we might look foolish. We withhold our true thoughts to maintain an appearance of expertise. We choose safe paths over meaningful challenges. These protective behaviors seem wise, but ultimately restrict our growth. Fear operates more subtly, disguising itself as practical concerns or rational caution. It transforms opportunities into threats, possibilities into dangers. While some fear serves a protective function, most modern fears relate more to ego preservation than actual survival. Releasing these twin constraints requires radical honesty with yourself. What decisions stem from genuine wisdom versus fear-based thinking? Which actions serve your growth versus protecting your image? These questions illuminate the invisible boundaries fear and ego create. True freedom emerges when you stop defending an image and start expressing your authentic self. This means acknowledging your limitations without shame. It means pursuing growth despite the risk of looking foolish. It means choosing truth over comfort, even when that truth challenges your self-concept. The process demands courage. Start by admitting what you do not know. Share your genuine thoughts even when they differ from the group. Take actions aligned with your values rather than your fears. Each step dismantles the walls fear and ego built around your potential. Professional success often accelerates when you release the need to appear perfect. Authentic leadership inspires more than polished facades. Genuine connection moves businesses forward more than careful image management. Real expertise includes acknowledging limitations and embracing continuous learning. Personal relationships deepen when you stop managing impressions and start sharing your true self. Vulnerability creates stronger bonds than displays of strength. Authentic expression invites genuine connection. The very imperfections you try to hide often create the strongest bridges to others. Chapter 15. Living with Purpose, Not Pressure. Dawn breaks as she walks away from her high-pay corporate job. Her colleagues call it career suicide, but deep inside, she recognizes this truth. A life driven by external pressure creates success without fulfillment. Purpose must lead the way. Modern life wraps us in layers of pressure. Social media broadcasts constant comparisons. Society pushes predetermined definitions of success. Family and cultural expectations shape our choices before we can question them. These pressures create a life of constant striving without genuine satisfaction. Living with purpose requires stripping away these external pressures to discover what truly matters to you. This journey often begins with uncomfortable questions. What would you do if no one would judge your choices? What kind of life would you create if you stopped trying to impress others? What values would guide your decisions if you released inherited beliefs? Purpose differs from goals or ambitions. Goals focus on achievement, getting the promotion, buying the house, reaching the milestone. Purpose speaks to the deeper why behind these pursuits. It answers not what you want to accomplish, but what you want your life to mean. Finding your purpose requires quiet reflection amid life's noise. It means listening to your inner voice rather than external opinions. This process often reveals surprising truths. The career that looked perfect on paper might not align with your values. The life goals you inherited might not reflect your authentic desires. Living purposefully does not mean abandoning practical concerns. Bills still need payment, responsibilities still demand attention. The key lies in making these practical choices in service of your purpose, rather than letting them define it. Your job becomes a platform for meaningful contribution, rather than just a paycheck. This shift transforms how you navigate decisions. Instead of asking, "What should I do?" you ask, "What serves my purpose?" Rather than, "What will others think?" you consider, "What aligns with my values?" These questions lead to choices that feel authentic rather than imposed. The path requires courage. Living with purpose often means disappointing others' expectations. It might mean choosing a less conventional career, pursuing an unusual dream, or defining success differently than your peers. Each authentic choice builds momentum toward a more meaningful life. Benefits emerge beyond personal satisfaction. Purpose-driven people often achieve more sustainable success because their motivation comes from within. They build more authentic relationships because they attract others aligned with their values. They handle setbacks better because their sense of worth does not depend on external validation. Chapter 16. Life is short. So live fully. Sunlight streams through hospital windows as an elderly man shares his deepest regret with a young nurse. "I spent my life preparing to live, but I forgot to actually live." His words carry the weight of 9 decades, a reminder that our time is the one resource we cannot earn back. Time moves in one direction only. Each moment passes irretrievably, whether we fill it with purpose or waste it waiting for the perfect moment. We often live as if we have endless tomorrows, postponing joy, connection, and meaningful pursuits for some future date that never quite arrives. The finite nature of life is not a morbid thought, but a clarifying force. It strips away the non-essential, illuminating what truly matters. When you fully grasp that your time is limited, petty grievances fade. procrastination loses its grip. The courage to live authentically emerges not from fearlessness, but from the deeper fear of leaving your life unlived. Living fully does not mean constant activity or relentless pursuit of excitement. It means being fully present in whatever you choose to do. It means bringing your whole self to quiet moments with loved ones, to challenging projects at work, to personal pursuits that light your spirit. The key lies in conscious choice about how you spend your precious time. Each day presents countless moments where you can choose presence over distraction, courage over comfort, growth over stagnation. These choices compound over time, creating either a life of deep satisfaction or lingering regret. Small shifts create profound changes. Turn off your phone during meals to fully engage with companions. Take the trip you have been postponing. Share the feelings you have been holding back. Start the project that scares you. Each conscious choice to live fully builds momentum toward a more authentic life. This approach transforms how you view challenges. Rather than obstacles to avoid, they become opportunities to engage more deeply with life. Each difficulty presents a choice: retreat into comfortable patterns or push forward into growth. Living fully means choosing growth, even when it feels uncomfortable. Relationships deepen when you bring this mindset to them. Instead of half listening while checking your phone, you give people your full attention. Rather than holding back to protect yourself, you risk genuine connection. These moments of authentic engagement create the memories that make life rich. The paradox reveals itself. When you fully accept life's finite nature, you become more alive. Fear of death transforms into appreciation for life. Anxiety about the future becomes presence in the now. The weight of expectations lifts, replaced by the freedom to live authentically. Your life's quality depends not on its length, but on its depth. By embracing each moment as precious, bringing your full self to what matters most, you create a life rich in meaning, rather than heavy with regret.